How many of these have you done?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've gone really well. I would like to welcome Frank Snell to the SPS Check-In. Frank is the president of Snell's Prosthetics and Orthotics, who has 10 locations in Arkansas. And Frank, you've been in the field for a couple of years now, right? How many has it been?
Yeah, at least a couple, Regina, and thank you for having me. It's a great honor to be with you today. I'm the third generation of the Snell family. I'm the one that's supposed to mess everything up. So I've been out of school and practicing in the field now June 1st will be my 48th anniversary with the company.
That's amazing. Congratulations. You are a very well-known family within the industry. You have a fantastic reputation. Is there more that you would like to share about your company and the history with folks who may not be aware of Snell's in Arkansas?
I'll be glad to. Our company started in 1911. We were not big enough to be a mom and pop. We were just a pop. Pop Snell, that was his name. That's what everybody called him. And Pop was, he was an entrepreneur or a peddler, one of the two, I don't know which. Pop had many jobs over his career, but somehow in the early teens, he started dabbling in prosthetics and orthotics. Even before that, he was working in a pharmacy fitting trusses and things like that. But actually began the business in Memphis, Tennessee in 1911. And Pop had 3 sons. The 3 sons were supposed to come in the business. One was going to be established in Nashville, Tennessee. The other one was going to be in Memphis, Tennessee when Pop retired. And the youngest was going to come to Little Rock, Arkansas. Unfortunately, the youngest son was untimely killed in a car crash. And so Pop ran out of sons. And so he went to his favorite nephew, my father, and brought him into the field. My dad at the time was 30 years old, had a wife and 2 kids. He recruited him from a company making wooden handles, axe handles, pick handles, hoe handles. My dad always said, wooden handle, wooden leg, what's the difference? So he moved the family to Little Rock, dropped my mother and the 2 older siblings off in a rent house, moved to Shreveport and went to work for Jim Snell, his cousin, who is Clint's father. We all know Clint Snell. 6 weeks later, came back to Little Rock and went into the profession. So his education, residency, internship, everything was 6 weeks in Shreveport working for Jim. I joined him in 1972 after I graduated Northwestern.
And you have also children who are in the industry as well?
I do. My oldest is a son, Brant. Brant has a license in prosthetics and orthotics to the state of Arkansas, and his master's degree is in healthcare administration. So he's our chief operating officer. And my youngest is a daughter, Melissa. She graduated Baylor with marketing degree and has a master's in business administration. She's our chief financial officer and also a certified mastectomy fitter.
That's a really amazing family history and legacy that you have. I know that you and I have had conversations on and off over the past couple of years, and as more frequently around the past couple of months with the COVID crisis that the industry is going through. I thought that would be interesting to have you come on to the SPS Check-In and really give your perspective around what you're seeing, what your perceptions are, the changes that you've seen. So what is the impact of COVID-19 had on your business overall?
Well, Jenna, it's turned our world upside down. From something that we've had no prior knowledge of, the word pandemic was a Hollywood term.
Right. So
we've had to react as we go, basically. We had no prior training for this. You ask about a disaster plan. Well, the American Board of Certification, has in their facility accreditation some requirements of a disaster, but in Arkansas, we called it a tornado or a flood. But
yes.
We were not prepared for what was about to come to us in 2020. I'm very fortunate. I have a very tight-knit group management team, and we've had to kind of be responsive day by day as we went along. Of course, we were very concerned about our safety. We were concerned about the safety of our patients when they started closing down hospitals and clinics, but it's been something that we've been very attuned to and been very proactive as much as we can, dealing with the problem du jour, as we call it.
So what has been like the biggest challenge that you've faced, and what have you done differently in this environment?
Well, I think the biggest problem has been trying to convey to the staff and to the patients that you will be safe if you come into Snell's P&O, that we do the daily cleaning, we do the moment by moment cleaning, that every time that a patient leaves an exam room, we wipe down the parallel bars, the seats, the light switches, the door handles, all those things that you constantly touch. Our state of Arkansas, has been one of several states that have not had a lockdown. And so from that point, we've had more responsibility thrown on us to provide the safety internally rather than it being forced upon externally. And so we do all the necessary things on a case-by-case basis. Little things like not scheduling the patients very close together. Certainly we provided all the PPE equipment to our practitioners and to our patients who want to use them. There's sanitizing stations as you come in the door. We do all the logical things like take body temps, ask all the important questions to the staff. So far, we have not had a single incident. Had a couple of scares, but nothing has turned out positive.
Wow. From the perspective of the different stimulus packages and the PPP loans that are out there, I know that a lot of O&P owners have found navigating that has been a challenging, from trying to get the Small Business Association, get in with them, or trying to get in with bank loans. For you, how has the process been of ensuring that your company is well prepared for the future?
We've been fortunate in that I was notified about the PPP loans very early on and was able to gather up all the information, work with my CPA, and my banker is actually an amputee. So I think he took a personal interest in our cause. He guided us through. Daughter and I worked on it all weekend. We submitted it to the bank at 10 o'clock Monday morning, and 10, 12 days later, we had our PPP loan. So that was very fortunate. We also got that rebate type situation from CMS.
I'm going to ask you probably one of the most difficult questions that I hear. Do you have your Snell's crystal ball? When do you think things will potentially get back to somewhat of a normal?
Well, my crystal ball's over there. It's actually a snowball with a Yorkshire Terrier inside of it. But anyway, I can answer this because I have some very smart friends. We're in the second quarter now of 2020. I would hope by the third quarter that we can begin to see the sun coming up and the world getting brighter and a little bit kinder. But I do think that this economic peril is going to project it into the fourth quarter. But hopefully by 2021, everybody will have their feet firmly planted on the ground and our country can begin to march forward. Keeping our fingers crossed and asking for God's blessing in this.
Kind of in closing, are there any guidance or any suggestions you have for some, small businesses?
It would be my hope, Regina, that they have established some strong partnerships with their suppliers and with their contacts in the field. There are some economies of scale having 10 facilities and a staff of 58. We have some depth that we can fall back on. If we have somebody wounded, we can pull up somebody in reserve. That's the challenge that the smaller facilities face. If they were to have a crisis internally, it might be very tough to offer the ongoing services. Certainly your geography plays a factor. In Arkansas, we have had a little over 4,800 COVID-19 cases, but I would hate to think what our friends in New York and Chicago and New Jersey and some of those larger metropolitan areas are facing. It's got to be tough for them, and I keep them in my prayers every day. Certainly, we've been impacted by this. It's been a challenge, and with our partnerships that we have, we're going to lean on those partners, and we're all going to get through this together.
This too will pass.
That's right.
In closing, is there anything else you would like to share with us, Frank, with your fellow O&P practitioners and owners out there?
Well, I just want to be an encouragement to them. We still, as an industry, will have a very necessary job to do when all this is over. We've got to survive this. Our patients, our employees, our staff, their families, they're all depending on us. 58 employees, I'm responsible probably for 250 people, and we depend on each other. The fact that we are a necessary essential service, we will have a very important job throughout 2020, 2021, and beyond. Let's all hang in there together.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Frank. You are certainly a key opinion leader within the O&P industry. I really appreciate your thoughts and your insights. And I know that our O&P businesses out there are very appreciative of your time and your thoughts and how you feel about the COVID-19 crisis. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for asking me.
It's great talking to you, Frank. Be safe out there.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.